A very good morning, everyone.
Hi, good morning.
All right. All loud and clear?
Yeah.
Good. So first of all, thank you for joining us at today's session. I'm Sok-Hoon Chia. I am the General Manager at Microsoft Southeast Asia New Markets. As you can see from my map, these are the 9 amazing countries. I am delighted to be your moderator for the session today on AMA, Ask Me Anything about professional development with mentoring. And this is an area that a lot of us are very passionate about. To begin with, I'd like to say, please, this is a webinar that will be recorded. And by participating in this webinar, you're providing the consent to Singapore Computer Society. And to ensure the smooth running of today's session, I'd like to request everyone to please mute your mic. And if you do have any questions that you would like to ask the speaker, please post them on the group chat. And at the end of the session, we will go through and answer accordingly. So mentoring, as we all know, it's a learning relationship, right? Generally focused on driving personal growth, building skills, supporting and encouraging our people to maximize their potential and becoming the person that they want to be. And this whole mentoring topic, it's vast and complex. It's really about the discovering journey, which evolves as we grow and as we change and requires a lot of authenticity and vulnerability. So today I'm pleased to share that Yen-Lu, it's our special guest who will be sharing his experiences and his wisdom in this topic. So Yen-Lu's career spans nearly 40 years in tech, media, venture capital, and more recently, social entrepreneurship and philanthropy. And a former Apple distinguished technologist, he is a successful entrepreneur with multiple tech startups and an active angel investor, spending many years mentoring and advising young businesses and serving on government panels on innovation. He served as a director of Business Angel Network C and an executive mentor, and also an adjunct professor to NUS Enterprise, mentor to INSEAD, and numerous panels internationally. So in the words from him, in the fast-paced world where the only constant is change, he truly believes there is an urgent need for each of us to draw on our strengths and our potential creative as human beings to connect with a higher self and deeper purpose, which is to contribute back to the humanity in the most positive and impactful way. So Yen-Lu devotes his time in serving both society and the nation in his various capacities. He is on a life mission to help bring about a kinder, a gentler, more inclusive, more just and sustainable world. So without further ado, over to you, Yen-Lu.
My turn, is it? Okay. Good morning. Good morning for that very nice intro, Sok-Hoon, and such a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Of course, we're going to talk about, I'm going to share my screen now, yeah? Okay, can you all see my screen? Yes? Can? Okay. Very good. Okay, I'm gonna take about the next half an hour to share about first of all about mentoring, a bit about AIM, Asia Institute of Mentoring, and also my own personal life and career journey. Yeah, hopefully there are a few things that maybe I can share that maybe you can take away from this morning. Yeah, and then we spend a bit of time with a Q&A and all that with Sok-Hoon, yeah, in a moderated session. Meanwhile, feel free to type into the chat window if you have any questions meanwhile, yeah, along the way. Okay, fantastic. Thanks again to SCS for having me this morning, yeah, to talk about, of course, one of my passions, which is mentoring, yeah. So just a bit of intro. What you see on the screen here is on the right is the logo for Asia Institute of Mentoring. This is the nonprofit I founded about 3 years ago. Yeah, so in fact, just early this week, we celebrated the 3-year anniversary of Asia Institute of Mentoring. AIM is a mission-driven organization, driven by values. And let me explain that. You see the logo of AIM, yeah? You see the 7 leaves, yeah, of the what looks like a green lotus flower, a green lotus flower. Of course, these 7 leaves, of course, some of you may know the meaning of a lotus, yeah? It has many good symbolic representation, but the 7 leaves of this lotus flower represent the 7 values of AIM, which are authenticity, yeah, integrity, continuous learning, inspiring others, trust, wisdom, and compassion. So these are the values that we set out since day one, which are the values that drives AIM forward. Yeah, so okay, let me just go right in. Yeah, so let me, oh, by the way, you see on the bottom here, I love to talk about AIM, right? And what we do and the values that we espouse. You see that, you see the idiom, yeah, 10年树木，百年树人. It translates to, it takes 10 years to grow a tree, 100 years to grow people. So we are here, we're on a sacred mission to grow people through mentoring. So mentoring is a sacred mission because we are dealing with people, we are dealing with growing people to become the best that they can be. So I'm going to invite you a journey of discovery. Okay, a bit about myself. I've been through, oh my gosh, many 5 or 6 major career, at least major career and life transitions. Yeah, I started life as a scientist, as an engineer, like many of you. Yeah, I became an entrepreneur, became a multi-time entrepreneur. I became a business angel and a VC as well. And along the way, I became an angel investor, and I've been mentoring, advising many startups and founders. I also advise the government in the area of innovation and entrepreneurship. I sit on many panels, yeah, and also internationally, yeah. And I'll talk a bit about this. About 12 years ago, I had a major life event. I had a family tragedy, right? That took me on a very different path. I became a philanthropist, a social innovator. I've been on my own spiritual journey, seeking the truth. Yeah, and more recently, I also started the deep human movement. Yeah, this will be another session on deep human. But as you can see, I've been through many different transitions in my life, inflection points, I call them. At pretty much every one of these points, I've had a mentor. So mentors have been very important in my life. We're going to talk a lot more about mentoring. In case you're wondering, who is this gentleman on the screen here with me? Yeah, it's just to your right, it's to my left. Some of you may know him. This is Professor Muhammad Yunus. Have you heard of him before? I'm sure some of you have. Professor Yunus is the founder of the Grameen Bank. Yeah, he started the whole microfinance. Yeah, the whole microfinance scheme, right? To basically lend. This is back in the 1980s. Yeah, in Bangladesh. Basically to lend small amounts of money, $10 to $20, to the poorest of the poor, mostly entrepreneurs, mostly women, to help them start a little business. Yeah, just by doing this. Of course, there's a whole very ingenious system that was devised that and the whole system allows, right, that got essentially millions of people out of poverty by lending the small amounts of money to mostly women entrepreneurs to start their own business. Millions of people out of poverty. For that, he won the Nobel Prize. Yeah, for his effort. Yeah. So Professor Yunus is one of my heroes, and I consider him my mentor in the social space. I have other mentors, but he is my mentor in the social space. Okay, so a little bit about AIM. Yeah, again, which I founded about 3 years ago. A bit about our purpose. Remember, I said we are a very mission-driven organization. What's our purpose? Our purpose is to bring mentoring to the forefront here in Asia, to raise the quality of mentors and set the standard in mentoring, and to spread mentoring to all aspects of the society, potentially impact millions of lives, really to help bring about a kinder, gentler, more inclusive, more just, and more sustainable world for all. I think mentoring could be a vehicle to help us to do this. Let's see how. A bit more about AIM. AIM, again, we've been in existence for 3 years now. For 2 years, it was 100% volunteer-run organization. That includes me. Okay? Even now, we're still 90% run nonprofit organization. Volunteers is the backbone, yeah, the lifeblood, the wings beneath the wing of a nonprofit organization like AIM. We have worked with many partners, yeah. And today, I'm hoping that, of course, SES is becoming our partner as well. I'm hoping that today will be the beginning of our partnership with SES. I look forward to it. Talk a bit about what we've been doing in terms of what at AIM. Actually, a lot of this started at the onset of COVID, about in April, May of 2000. Remember that time? It was beginning of it was a lockdown in Singapore. My God, a lot of people are going through tough times. So what we decided to bring the community together, to call out, right? To first of all, for people to share their expertise, their experiences through a series of fireside chats, webinars, and workshops. Yeah. We also started a series of mentorship programs, yeah, and other activities around that. And also, we've been doing training and certification for mentors for both individuals and corporates. Since then, this has mostly happened in the past 2 years. We had organized over 100 events, yeah, fireside chats, webinars, workshops, with over 5,000 participants, and the AIM community has grown towards nearly 5,000 strong. Yeah, we have trained nearly 100 certified professional mentors and conducted 5 corporate trainings. And meanwhile, we conducted 10 cycles of mentorship programs. These are 3-month mentorship programs. We did over 250 pairings of mentors and mentees involving over 500 mentors and mentees. This is over the past 1.5 to 2 years. So mentoring, I see as something to make this to have impact. We're beginning to have some impact in the society through everything that we do. And in our activities, again, we see mentoring as very holistic. I'm gonna go in a bit more, yeah? It's something we organize around what we call the 5 pillars, yeah? Leadership, entrepreneurship, career resilience, parenting, and personal well-being, which includes mental well-being, yeah? So mentoring is holistic and systemic. Right? We play different roles in our life, different stages. And so we look at a person very holistically. We look at mentoring very holistically and systemically. Okay, I'm gonna invite you to a journey. All know this man, I'm sure, Socrates. Yeah, Socrates, of course, he lived about 2,500 years ago. He's considered the father of Western philosophy. Western philosophy, yeah. And really, he summed up the secret to a meaningful life in 2 simple words: know thyself. Know thyself. Self-awareness, right? It means knowing your needs and your value, your strength, your limitation, your passion, and your, you as well as your needs. Yeah, it means having a deep appreciation of what makes you a unique person on this planet. Yeah, and also on a deeper level, it means knowing how you react in different situations and accepting full responsibility for your feelings and your actions. We're going to talk a bit more about this. But what else do we know about Socrates? You may also know that Socrates was a mentor and teacher to Plato, another great Greek philosopher. And Plato, of course, was the mentor and teacher to, anybody know? Aristotle, yeah? Another great philosopher, Western philosopher. And do you know who Aristotle was mentor to? He was the mentor to Alexander the Great. Yes, Alexander the Great, who everybody knows him, right? I'm sure. Alexander, of course, he was a Greek general who conquered half of the known world at that time. Okay? And so now let's move to Asia, to China, yeah? At about the same time, about 25 years ago, there lived a man, and you all know him, whose name was Confucius. Yeah? He's considered the father of Eastern or Asian philosophy. Yeah? 至圣先师, the words on the screen here, it translates to the teacher of teachers. So he's considered the teachers. He's considered all of our teachers in values and morality. Yeah, and of course, Confucius had more than 3,000 students and disciples and mentees who went on to spread his work throughout China and throughout the rest of Asia. Great philosopher. How about this man? All of you know Confucius, but do you know this man? This man is Lao Tzu. Some of you may know him. Lao Tzu now is considered one of the greatest philosophers. If you read his work, the Tao Te Ching, if not the greatest philosopher the world has ever known. Okay, his work, he wrote one book personally, and this work has been translated into more than 150 languages. Yeah, probably second only to the Bible in terms of wisdom scripture. Yeah, but what you may not know about Lao Tzu was the mentor to Confucius. You guessed it. He was a mentor to Confucius. History has it that Confucius visited Lao Tzu about 5 times in his lifetime. 5 times in his lifetime. It was Confucius, through those encounters, that, with Lao Tzu, that Confucius became the great philosopher that he was. It was Lao Tzu. He talks about it. It was Lao Tzu that really inspired him to be the great philosopher that he was. So what is the lesson here? Whether you want to be a world conqueror like Alexander the Great, or you want to be a great philosopher like Confucius, or if you want a great, leader, right, or a great engineer, because we all need a good mentor. So mentor are people who can really give hope, they inspire, they build resilience, they provide support, and they wisdom and advice with a heart. Yeah, I think with the heart is highlighted here. It's in bold. It's very, very important. It needs to come from the heart. Yeah, mentoring is a form of people power. We all can be good mentors. I want to share a quick video with you here. From our dear friend Simon Sinek. I'm not sure you've seen this. Let me share this. Yeah.
So we get a lot of questions about being a mentor. What does it mean to be a mentor? Will you be my mentor? Will I be your mentor? Things like that. Here's what I've learned about mentorship. Mentorship is not something you ask somebody to do. Like, will you be my friend? It doesn't work like that. When you find somebody you get along with, you share values, you share beliefs, you spend time with them, you get to know them, you develop trust, you take, you're vulnerable with them, you open up to them, and you discover that you become friends. It's what happens. You start off as simply acquaintances. In my experience, mentorship is exactly the same. There were people who were much more experienced than me, who had wisdom that I didn't have, and when I would call them, they would take my calls. And when I would ask them questions, they would always take the time to give me answers. And over the course of time, they became my mentors, like they became my friends. And I remember one time I was with one of my mentors, Ron Bruder, an amazing guy, and I was leaving his house and I put my arm around him and I said, you know, I'm glad you're my mentor. And he looked at me and he said, I'm glad you're mine. And it caught me completely off guard. And true mentorship, like true friendship, is not a one-way street. It's not about one person only giving advice to the other. Both people are showing up to give, and both people are showing up to learn. But you can't ask someone to be your mentor, especially someone who's a total stranger, knock on their door and say, will you be my mentor, if they don't know you and you've never met them. It's like friendship. You cultivate a relationship, and if that person is always there for you and wants to see you thrive and succeed and believes in you, then perhaps they will become your mentor, like making a friend.
Okay, so that's a view. I think a very interesting view from our friend Simon Sinek. Okay, so what makes a good mentor? What makes a good mentor? There are many things that makes a good mentor, but the cool, you can see them on the screen. I won't read them. Yeah, confidence and increased confidence, inspiring. Treat me as a unique person. Give me special assignments and encourage me. Provide useful tips and advices. But the two most important attributes that makes a good mentor, according to this is a research I was done a few years ago. According to mentees, is that mentors stretch and two things. They stretch and challenge me, and they guided me with personal insight and knowledge. Yeah, stretch me and challenge me. Yeah, give me stretch goals and guide me with personal insight and knowledge. I think this makes a lot of sense. Indeed, right? Simon talks about mentoring being a two-way relationship. Yeah, both people must show up to share, and both sides must show up to learn. Yeah, you can grow from the relationship and the interaction. And this is so true. This is something we talked about over and over again at AIM. It's really a two-way relationship. And of course, you all know this because I think many of you have been involved in mentorship at SCS or in your own work and life. That it can help leaders and entrepreneurs, right? Both in terms of sharing expertise, improve our own leadership skills, right? Get different perspectives on things, build networks, very important, and build our own skill as a mentor. This is one of the most important life skills that we can have. Okay, I'm gonna come back to Lao Tzu. Yeah, Lao Tzu, who talks about so the issue of know thyself, right? To know another is intelligence. To know oneself is true wisdom. 知人者智也，自知者明也. Yeah, this is almost exactly what Socrates said, right? The teaching. Okay, so knowing oneself. Know oneself. Can one even truly know ourselves? Okay, let's do a little exercise, okay? The exercise is called, what is your level of awareness? I'm gonna stop the play here. What I want to do is, I'm gonna ask each of you to type into the chat window, what do you see in this picture on my screen, my right? What do you see in this picture? Yeah, this painting. Can Yeah, I'm gonna spend about 1 minute. Can I just start typing what you see? It's not a trick question, okay? Water, flower, yes. Water in autumn, okay, autumn. There we see autumn. We have flowing flower. Waterfall, yes. Flower, wisdom, wow, yes, very, very insightful. Autumn landscape, okay. What else? What else? I'm gonna give it a few more seconds. Anything, anybody else? Autumn leaves and water, rocks, oh, wow. Very insightful. You see rocks. Cool weather, okay. Because it's autumn, right? So you see cool weather. Anybody else? 1 or 2 more? Anybody want to share? Anyone? Okay, that's all right. Very good. Okay. Calm, beautiful nature. Nature. Thank you. Beautiful nature. Yeah. Sunny weather. Okay. You see the. Does anybody see the fish that's in the water? Anybody see the fish that's in the water? Anyone? Anyone can see the butterfly that's behind that bush over there? Anyone see the beetles that's behind those flowers? Anyone see that? Anyone? Okay. Anyone can see life? Anyone can see life? Oh, looking for shark. Probably not gonna find shark here. Shark only live in the oceans. Yeah, but there are other kinds of shark. Yes. Anybody can see life? Anybody can see life? Anybody can see the universe? Life is everywhere, indeed. Anybody can see the universe? Anyone can see the universe, right? There's a saying, whatever out there that's in the universe isn't here. Not just here, what we can see, but it's in here, inside of us. Yeah? Anybody can see yourself in this picture? Anybody can see yourself in this picture? Yeah? Can you? There's a saying, the world is not out there. The world is in here, inside of us. What we see is a reflection of who we are. Each of us may see different things. It's a reflection of who we are. Do you see? One last question. Do you see what your mentee sees? Do you see what the other person sees? Do you? Can you? This is awareness. Can we see not just what's being said, but can we also hear what's being unsaid? Right? These are some of the things. This is all about awareness, our level of awareness. Okay, let's move on. So I want you to think about that a bit, yeah? Okay. Listening. Yeah. Besides awareness, very, very important. Know thyself, self-awareness. The next thing in mentoring, and I think you all know this where it is listening. It's one of the most important skills in mentoring, in any interaction, actually. Any interaction, yeah, with any communication is listening. Yeah. I think unfortunately most of us don't spend most of our time what talking, right? Not so much listening. We need to spend more time listening. Okay, of course. And okay, here's a bit about active listening. Again, I think most of you will know this already. What is active listening? Yeah, it's being curious and interested in other person, feeling honored and privileged that someone is sharing their story, their information with you. Being in that space, totally with the other person and being fully present. Have the presence, being in that space. And of course, being alert to what's being said, being aware of the physical cues, posture, but not just that. I just said also being aware of what's unsaid, right? Being able to have an awareness to be able to read the tea leaves. What might be in the other person's heart and mind. Yeah? Yes, it's possible. It is possible. So this is active listening. The next very important skill is questioning, right? Well, know this already. Asking the right questions is the heart of the effective communication. After listening, it's questioning. garbage in, garbage out, right? So what we get back depends on what we, the questions we ask, right? And of course, effective, good questions are critical in the sense they are thought provoking. They evoke thinking, right? Deep thinking in our mentee, right? And maybe in our mentor as well. Questioning is also very important. What are some of the questions you might want to ask besides, how are you, right? Have you eaten today? Those are the common question that we all ask, especially as and 吃饭了没有, right? In Chinese, like, have you eaten? But what beyond that, what kind of question? We call learning questions. What are learning questions? Learning questions are questions that can create awareness, change perspective, challenge assumptions. Remember, challenge your mentee is one of the most important things that we can do, right? As a mentor, and stretch them, yeah? And to elicit action. Mentoring is all about eliciting action as well. Action towards what? Action towards change, positive change. I'm not going to spend time much more on this today, right now, but if you wish, you can type into the chat window, if you will, what are some of the questions that you may ask along these 4 lines. Please do that now if you wish. Yeah, I'm going to move on. Feel free to type it in. Awareness, create awareness, change perspective, challenge assumption, and elicit action. Share some of your questions if you wish, yeah, into the chat window. I'm going to move on though, yeah, for others, yeah. Okay, so I have another short video. Yeah, I want to share.
Hey, so I was really blessed earlier this week. I got to have dinner with one of my mentors, and in this one particular dinner, within less than an hour, my mentor helped me get clarity on an issue that I'd just kind of been vacillating about. It gave me one tip that will save me hours, maybe weeks worth of effort, just help catapult me forward past a sticking point. And he actually built a lot of confidence in an area that I had been struggling and not feeling very confident. And that's how powerful a mentor can be. So if you are a mentor to anyone, as you should be, everybody has something to learn and everybody also has something to share. And if you're a leader in a business, then one of your primary jobs is to mentor the people on your team, the people who work for you. So I wanted to share 3 characteristics that I have identified of what makes a great, really profound mentor relationship. Here's the first character trait that I've observed. My mentor's vision for himself is always growing. Despite the fact that he's light years ahead of me in many, many regards, he's always talking about what's next. There's always a bigger vision, another level plateau. But it's not in a frenetic, like I can't stop. There's nothing stressful about it. It's a very calm, it's controlled, and it's inspired. It's led from a place of inspiration and of being driven just to accomplish what he knows he's capable of accomplishing. And I find that really, really inspiring, that there's never a point in time that we're done growing as human beings, personally or professionally, spiritually, or in any other way. The second character trait that I've noticed is there's no ego. And there could be, some people they have good reason to be proud or to maybe have a sense of arrogance about them, but there's not. A good mentor is very, very quick to share mistakes that they've made, but there's no shame around it and there's no arrogance in needing to cover them up, because what they really value is the lesson. They know that mistake, if they learn from it and they apply from it, is what enabled them to get beyond it to take the next level in their business or in their life. So the ego gets checked at the door. They're very transparent about what they've done right, what they've done wrong, and willing to share so that other people can learn from their experiences. Here's a third character trait. The conversation is always about the other person. Even if it's through the context of the mentor sharing his or her own experiences to help someone, it's always through the lens of how they can support the person that they're mentoring. And every conversation I have this one particular mentor, always, without question, he says, "How can I help you, Carrie?" And then he pauses and listens because he actually wants to know. And if I can put together an intelligent answer, then he actually does help with it. So mentor is just very sincere and always takes the time, even though you might be busy, but at that moment in time, they make the mentee feel like they are their number one priority, because they truly are. They're present and they genuinely care. So if you can incorporate these 3 character traits to help some of your team members grow, for both their benefit as well as that of your company. So thanks for watching. And by the way, if you can think of any other character traits that your mentors have exhibited for you, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear. Thanks.
Okay, so what are the 3 things according to a career of a great mentor? One is the vision of the mentor for him or herself is always expanding, it's always growing. That's self-development or self-mentoring, we call that. Number 2, no ego. No ego, just to summarize what she said. Number 3 is always about the other person. How can we support and help the other person to grow? Yeah. Okay, I'm wrapping up now. I want to share 3 or 4 a bit of my own journey. Yeah. So I have many defining, I call them defining moments. I have a number of defining moments in my own life. Yeah. Inflection points, if you will. I think that really made a difference in my own life. I want to share them with you. One is a mission statement, a personal mission statement. This is back in 1987, circa 1987, when I was approaching 30. When I was approaching 30, not quite 30. Oops, I think I just gave my age away, didn't I? Okay. So these are the things I wrote down for myself. I was doing okay, but I was missing something in my life. Yeah, I needed a compass. I needed a direction. So I was also into self-development. I was reading a lot of self-development books and all that. Right. So I wrote down these are the things I want to live my life by. Right. Integrity, learning, maturity, abundance, mentality, continuous learning, enhancing personal growth. Yeah, be a leader, right? Be able to serve others while being a role model, about creating opportunities for others. Treat others the way I want to be treated. Always leave a situation better than when I found it. Yeah, and more recently, I added this more recently, to live a life unleashed with purpose and passion. I've lived, and this personal mission statement has guided me pretty much most of my life since then. I really encourage, when I talk to young people, to come up, develop their own personal mission statement. I encourage you, if you don't have one yet, I'm sure some of you do, to develop one for yourself. Yeah, this would be one of the best things they can do for yourself. The second inflection point, defining moment, it was a career transition back circa 1997 when I was working in the Silicon Valley. In fact, at Apple. Yeah, this was an Apple back in the 90s. Yeah, I was transitioning from an individual. I was a tech guy. I was an engineer, from an individual contributor to the manager of a group. Yeah, I'm sure some of you have been through this transition, and they don't show you how, they don't teach you how to do it. You kind of learn. I was learning on the job, and I was failing miserably. Luckily, I was selected. My manager, bless him, at the time, I was selected to participate in a mentorship program. It was early. Apple was just starting up a mentorship program at the time, mentors and proteges. Yeah, I was selected to participate in that. At the same time, so I was mentored by someone more senior. I was a VP, I think, at the time in Apple. I also got myself a leadership coach. Yeah, at the time, because I need some guidance. Yeah, in terms of how to be a leader and better manager. Since then, yeah, since then, I took on a huge interest in anything related to leadership, mentorship, people challenges, and people development. This become my lifelong passion. I read everything about leadership that you can, every book, Harvard Business Review on leadership, and that has served me well. Yeah, and that's what I think helped me, together with my mission statement, got to me where I am today. Third thing, I was involved in a failed .com turnaround in the early 20s. Remember the internet 1.0, a lot of .com fails. I was a venture partner at a local VC, and I was parachuted in to try to. It was a flame out. I tried parachuting to revive the company. I tried to rebuild the company from everybody left at that time. to rebuild the company. I grew to 12 people. I went 12 months without salary, had to turn on the lights, because it was just so hard. Back in, remember those times, yeah. No one's buying, no one's investing. It was a very tough time, personally, professionally. But but this was also an experience that I would never, I never regret, right? Because failure is the rite of passage for an entrepreneur. Yeah. So I've always looked at what a person, have they tried, right? Had they failed, right? In what they do, had they taken risks, had they failed, and what had they learned from that failure? I've learned a whole lot from my failure. Yeah. So, and lastly, it's a family tragedy. I think some of you may have known my story. I had a family event back in 2009. We lost a tragedy, unfortunately. We lost our son and only child to suicide. Yeah. And that's what got me on this whole nonprofit, become a philanthropist, got on this social, become a social entrepreneur, right? To want to, revolutionize, right, mental wellness and mentoring now. So this is the question that I was faced with. What do you do? How should you respond when you lose what is far and away your most valued and treasured thing in life, which is our son, an only child at 26 years old. We're so close. And my answer was the love for our son and compassion for those who are suffering, the parents, the youth, transform this tragedy of ours into an all-powerful, all-consuming force to help other people. Yeah, to help other people. So these are the four inflection points in my own life. Yeah. And back to mentoring, really, yeah, we talked about this, where it's really a mentor's role is to inspire, motivate, challenge, and to teach. We know that already. At AIM, we offer training and certification for mentors. We've been doing this for 3 years now. Yeah, we have a very holistic approach, involving a lot of things I talked about already. Yeah, mentoring has to be about the heart, not just the mind, but the heart and even the soul. There's a lot about self-awareness and self-mastery. We have frameworks, we have techniques. We focus on the environment, the environmental variables. We have the ecological model of mentoring, we have cope and hope. Some of the benefits and outcome, and we focus a lot on what we call mentoring inside out, how to become a better self-mentor. Yeah, so that's our training for certification, and I certainly welcome you all to do visit our website. Thank you very much. That's our website, mentoring.com, and I will stop my sharing now. Thank you all for listening, and I would love to take questions together with Silkong.
Thank you, Yen-Lu.
Sorry, I ran a bit over time, but it's always I'm always so eager to share.
I know your story is inspiring, and as always, we have a lot of questions. Maybe I'll just kickstart with something we have had before that we've got from the team. So the first is, can you please share what are the advices that you will give to those who are looking for a mentor? Who and how should one look for a mentor to ensure that there is that connection, that style that matches, and also the expectation?
Yeah, there's probably a very long answer to that, as you may know, for some of you who may, being mentoring. But I think I have two things. I want to maybe, if you call it sharing, or if you want to call it advice. One is, there's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Have you heard that before?
I use it all the time.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay, so if you do some of the things that we talked about today already, into self-development, into learning, right? You want to develop yourself. Someone along the way, right, will come and say, hey, my gosh, you're doing, I would really love to know you more, or someone pretty well, and and become your mentor, like what Simon Sinek says, right? And the other thing, of course, is another thing I may say, and this is my personal experience. is, and I tell young people all the time, is to show up for life. To show up for life. Okay, to show up for life. If you show up for life, and there are many translations of that, and Suk Hoon could tell you some of her experience as well, right? Then you find a good mentor.
You're right.
Oh yeah, I didn't answer your question directly because there's no direct answer to that question.
It's a challenging, stretchful question that asks us to look inside rather than to look outside. Okay, all right. Keep the questions coming. There is one around for people who are inspiring to be a mentor, aspire to be a mentor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one is a new person. Can anyone be a mentor? Can you train to be a mentor, right? Mm. And then for those who are already a mentor, how can they further sharpen their own skills so they continue to be relevant and delivering impact to the mentees? So for those who are aspiring to be, and those who are already in a journey, and becoming better.
Yeah, great question. Great question. First thing I would say is, first of all, mentoring, number one, has to come from the heart. It's not just the mind. You really want to truly, from the bottom of your heart, want to help other people to help to grow them, become a better version of themselves. Number one, has to come from that space, a deep space of really helping other people, right? Other things is through practice, okay? To become better mentor, there's no way, like everything else, is to practice. And how do you practice? To actually start mentoring someone else. How do you can you be trained? Yes, that's what that's what AIM does. That is one of the things that we do. We have training and certification, right? We have a program, go to our website, you see we have a certified professional mentor. It's a 4-day, 7-module program. So not too bad, right? That will lead you through the different steps of how to become a better mentor, the best version of yourself, okay? Including how to be a good self-mentor. Number one, that's the most important thing we do. I have to look inside, how do I become a best version of myself first, right? And then we can teach you the skills, things I talk about, listening, questioning, communication, that comes, but those are skills. Right, that can be learned, that can be practiced, yeah. And of course, we run a lot of mentorship programs at AIM. I mentioned, right? We conducted 10 cycles of mentorship now, involving over 500 men. So come, if you haven't done it, or if you've done mentoring but you want to do more, come and join one of our mentorship programs, yeah. And you can sign up. It's free for everyone, right? We don't charge a mentor, we don't charge a mentee. It's about paying it forward. It's about paying it forward.
Very nice. Thank you, Yen-Lu. Another question that came about is kind of more of a definition, right? So there is this whole thing about teacher, guru, coach, mentor, all the words being thrown out there.
Oh, yeah.
What's the difference, right? And is it practical to get your direct line manager to be a mentor?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, well, I don't know. You probably have a better answer to that, Sukun. Yeah, they're possible, but there are challenges, obviously, right? To be a direct line. Yeah, someone can be truly unbiased if he's also watching out for your performance, right? So that's the challenge. Not impossible, but I think, but even that aside, I think all managers should become better mentors, regardless, right? To learn some mentoring skills, right? It'll be much better for you and your team. Mentor and coach. This is a question we ask all the time. Yeah, we address that in all of our training, right? That's the first thing we address, because people ask that, what's the difference between coaching and mentoring? Even counseling, people ask, what's the difference, right? Just quickly, and let me just. One difference, there are a few differences. One is counseling, coaching is more, it's relatively short term, yeah? It's time bound typically, and it's very sort of focused on the outcome or objectives, certain goals you want to achieve during that time, whether it's personal coaching or a professional coaching. mentoring is a bit more, it's less time bound, right? It's longer term, it's more relationship driven, and it's holistic, more holistic. Yeah. So coaching more, I think more focused. Yeah. I want to mentoring is more the whole person, right? We're talking about it all morning already. It's more the whole. So these are a few of the differences. There may be others, and we can go more deeply into some of these. But I think at a high level, those are the differences.
Okay. I guess there is another question, maybe not from the audience, but
sorry. Let me just add to that. Sorry, let me just add to that one more thing.
Sure.
I think coaching skill. I mean, I call them skills, right? I don't say rather than coaching skills or even counseling skills. These are all skills in a toolbox that we can all apply. We can apply in the mentoring context. That's another thing, right? These are tools in our toolbox. If I'm a counselor, can I become a mentor? Yes, of course you can. If I'm a coach already, can I become a mentor? Yes, you can. You already have some of the tools that you need in your toolbox to be a good mentor. Of course, there are other things that you need to expand your portfolio, right?
It's actually like, you are an orchestra, right? How you actually bring together the whole orchestra to work together in the most harmonious way that is relevant, that is impactful to the audience. In this case, of course, the mentee.
Yes.
You need to put the bass, you do the bass, you do the piano, you do the piano. Sometimes you pause.
Yes. The conduct. Yeah, I know. Go to symphony a lot, and I watch how easy the conductor does his job, his or her job. I said, I want to be a conductor. I'm sure it's not easy. There's a lot you have to go. But yeah, absolutely right. Like what you're doing now, Sukun. You're facilitating, moderating this conversation. So mentors, especially in group mentoring, also are good facilitators. Right? Yeah. Yes, right?
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, yes. So these are tools in your toolbox.
And writing on your proverb on when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? It also actually goes to say that before you become a good teacher, you have to be a good student.
I know. Isn't that interesting?
So that's exactly that. That's what you're talking about.
In the corporate space, there's another saying, right? To be a good leader, you have to be first a good follower.
Exactly.
Right. Same thing. Right. Same thing. Yes.
Okay. Time check. My God. Okay. Yen-Lu, before we let you go, what is that one message that you want to send to the group here who have been so patiently and attentively attending the last 1 hour? Leave them by a profound message.
Well, I cannot say it better than Socrates or Lao Tzu, which is to know yourself, to truly know yourself. This is the journey of a lifetime, because we can never, and to know your own potential. Just like the universe, I said, there's a universe out there, there's also a universe in here, right? And we can never, the journey is never finished. You know what I mean? Because the inner universe is also infinite. If I may tell you this, you may not believe this. The inner universe is, so continue on this journey of building self-awareness, self-discovery, and self-mastery, ultimately to self-actualization. Because the inner journey is, there's so many aspects of who we are. To explore our own life. I mean, Abraham Maslow, remember him? Maslow hierarchy. I can also give a talk on that as well. I love some of his work. Really, the inner journey towards self-actualization, to self-realization, to realization of the full human potential is unlimited. It's unlimited. So decide today to embark on this journey.
Yes, very enriching. Absolutely. Sometimes when we're at our most trying times, it's not about spending more time and kind of being caught in that, right? It's going out there and help someone else. And then we realize how grateful we are, and we realize how good position we still at the relative perspective, and that brings joy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's
that's
the why.
Absolutely. You know, I do a lot of work in mental wellness, you know, with youth especially. Exactly. You know, a lot of times we focus our own pain and suffering, our own troubles, right? But you know, when we 12 years ago, when we had this, you know, the realize, rather than focus on our own pain and suffering, if we look outwards and focus, how can we help other people? That was the beginning of my own transformation. You know, that was the beginning of my own transformation. You know, and I look at everything and what I encounter in life and my work is an opportunity to grow. The challenges, the difficulty, right? Not only am I expanding my outer sphere, I'm expanding my inner space when I'm able to grow. And that's the key, right? It's not independent, it's not separate.
Yeah.
So I want you to take on for you to embark and take on this challenge. That's my message.